Hey everybody, it is time to learn about gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is kind of a branch within figure drawing. I mean, we're drawing figures or people, but gesture drawing is a way to just quickly capture someone's gesture. Like, what are they doing? You know, you're trying to capture their pose, in other words. Today, I just quickly want to talk about what gesture drawing looks like, some different techniques you might try, where you can find resources so you can find some people to draw, and exactly what I'm looking for to turn in because it's worth 50 points. So first, take a look at this. Share my screen with you. Let's look at gesture drawing. So that's today's target, is really to learn how to do 10 gesture drawings. And you might try some different techniques, but one way to do this, first of all, a gesture drawing is just a quick method to get a rough idea of your subject on the surface, okay? Just a few simple lines. One way to do this is to not lift your pencil. Obviously, every time you lift your pencil up, you're spending a little millisecond doing that. But what if you keep your pencil down and you just keep furiously drawing? Well, you can probably work a bit quicker, right? Some people use a light and dark approach. So you can kind of scribble lightly and try to figure out what the figure looks like. And then when you see something you like maybe this head up here started to look like a head, you make it darker. You know, you might quickly scribble where the leg lives, but then make the outline of the leg darker, that kind of idea. So you might try a light and dark approach. Other people do it this way. They just use a few well-placed lines, like they'll try to find the spine line of the figure. You can see that here or right here. So you can kind of see, you know, the action or the gesture, the pose of the person, but it's not a scribbly technique. It's more of a stick figure technique. You know, everyone has their own gesture drawing voice, and I want you to find yours. So I'm showing you how some different artists approach this. I have my own style and the way I like to do it. But some people, you know, they work with mostly the perimeter and a few interior lines just to capture something quick. And you have to be quick. I mean, if you're trying to capture a slide tackle or a pitcher pitching, a dancer moving, a baby crawling, or a horse rearing up or galloping away, you've only got a few seconds. So it's a practical skill to have. If you're ever sitting in the park trying to capture a pigeon gathering some seed or something, or a person, that person sitting there might be sitting on the bench for a while, but they might move. So how quickly can you capture them? And there's other methods as well. If you're using charcoal, you might put the charcoal on its side and try to give the figure some weight really quick. So depending on the media, depending on your subject, you know, you might use a different approach. Let me show you a few. First, though, you might want to know where you can find some figures. One of the easiest things you can do is this. I'll show you. If you go online, let's see here. Let's do it this way. You could go to Google and you could type in something like clothed figure drawing reference models. If you didn't put clothed in front, you might get something else. And I'm arguing, since we're in high school, you should look for clothed figuring reference models. Once you get to college, you could take a class like I did called Life Drawing, and you would draw from a live nude model. But let's keep things humble and keep our humility in here, and let's draw some clothed models. But here's a great way to go. You know, it's just model after model. You might see some gluteus max in there. But you can click on any of these. And usually when you click on one, say this one, it's going to bring up more examples here that are similar. So, you know, click on a model and you can find all different sizes and shapes and genders and ethnicities. So, you know, click on one and do your best to try to draw it. So I'm going to keep this picture up here and try to draw that. And while I do that, I'll switch to my document camera and show you a couple ways to do this. So let's switch over. And I'm going to bring that same photo back up really quick. Can't minimize zoom. Oh, it says I can't minimize it. So I'm not going to be able to do that. Since I'm recording, unfortunately, I can't see that photo. So I'm going to try to keep it in my mind. Although you should be looking at an actual, you know, picture, a photograph of a man or woman, child, person. All right. So here's one way to go, is just to keep your pencil down and keep it moving. I remember the guy had a hand here, another hand here. His torso was here, and there was one leg over here, and another leg over here. And so you can just quickly kind of capture the basic pose by not lifting your pencil and just scribbling. That was pretty quick. That was a good 15 seconds. Of course, I could take more time and make this look a little bit better and use that light and dark technique and try to really bring this person into focus by doing a bit more work. And so I'll do that right now, making this more of a 30-second, gesture drawing. And if I remember right, the person was wearing some kind of a black garment here. So I'm still working rather quickly, not trying to make this look perfect or anything. But you can see the more time I spend on this, the better it's going to look. Got a little more bang for my buck here. But that's that kind of light and dark technique. You might start lightly and then start dark, or then go darker. Some people actually like a stick figure. They'll go like this, and they'll just make this with, some people use the old stick and, little circles technique to figure this out. And they'll find out about where the hips are and make the knees and kind of do segments and things like that. And they like that, and then they'll go back in and make it a bit more solid and do things like this so that it's not just a stick figure. And you know that the hips are there. But you can make things that are kind of one-dimensional, more two-dimensional. So that's another way to go, is the old stick figure method. And some people use a method like this, just a really kind of a circular method. Oh, they go like this. I get just so many. Some people use more like a mannequin technique. Well, they go like this and use all circles. So that might be one that you want to try. One for the waist, one for the legs, one for the knees, one for the bottom part. And then again, once you've got that basic part, then you can go back in and carve this and make it look much more serious and really look at the muscles and take your time. So I'm not going to complete this whole drawing, but just trying to show you that there's lots of techniques, sticky figure techniques, circle techniques, scribbling techniques. I've even seen some people do this, which doesn't work real well for me, but they just keep using circles like this, and everything becomes circular. That looks like the Michelin Man. I don't know if you guys know the Michelin Man, Michelin tires. And they'll do stuff like this. And I find this kind of difficult. But they try to actually create some three-dimensionality using, almost like coils. So it's not my favorite technique, but I don't want to teach you that one way is right or wrong. There's just so many different types. So this is the idea of a gesture drawing, and you just watch me do 4 of them. Now I've been doing this a while, and I went pretty quick. I don't know that you could do them that quick, but I'm looking for 10 total. Now in some of these, I'd like you to just spend 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, but I would like you to try at least a couple that are 5 minutes. Really spend some time so you can get in here. You can actually add eyes and eyebrows and mouths and maybe even a little bit of hair. Try to take it to the next level and make it look like somebody. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should look better the more time you put in on it. Another great place you can go that will help you with these timings is a site called Pose Maniacs. So check this out. Let's go to Pose Maniacs. Let me share this with you. Here we are, Pose Maniacs. This is a site I've been using for a long time. You can actually click on 30-second drawing, and it will give you drawings that take 30 seconds. So let's try one of those. I'll show you how this works. Here comes the 30-second drawing. Oh, don't tell me I need